Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, we're going to be going over the upcoming snowfall possibilities for the eastern United States, as well as the overall pattern we're going to be in. Now, before we get into this video, be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. For today's comment of the day, I want to know, do you think that we will have more snowstorms in February at the end of the day, or do you think that January will actually end up going down as the snowiest month of the winter in the eastern half of the country? Let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are, and I'll be picking one of those for tomorrow's video. Now, let's get straight into this video, and we're taking a look here at our actual radar imagery here, and things actually get quite quiet. You can see here, this is our actual time and date and everything going on, and we had a cold front roll through. You might have noticed some windiness last night. I actually woke up at, I think it was like 4 to a very good strong gust of wind here in Virginia as this cold front was just coming through. After it passed is when a lot of the wind started up. It's still quite windy out there, so if you're along the eastern seaboard, you might wake up to some very windy conditions. And a really key sign of that windiness is all this lake effect up here spreading very far from the lakes. As you can see, very far away from those lakes, very, very strong winds happening for a lot of these spots. Let's just move into the western United States. We do have some precipitation that's going to be moving onshore, and it has moved onshore to northern California here. We see a lot of that moving onshore. It's quite light to moderate, but it will be some precipitation, which in some years it's quite rare for California, so we're taking a look at that. And then also up here in the Pacific Northwest, Oregon and Washington, we do see quite a bit of precipitation as well that will be moving onshore throughout the morning hours. I guess it's much earlier there, though, so it will be kind of, well on its way by the time it's the morning hours for you guys. Right now, it's very, very early for you guys. Anyway, let's take a look here at the southeastern United States. We do have some storminess here. You can see a lot of that offshore of the Gulf of Mexico that was there in Texas, but it has gone ahead and moved offshore there. We're also seeing Georgia and Florida here, seeing some of that precipitation that has also gone ahead and moved offshore there on the very southern extent of that cold front. We can see these areas up here throughout the mid-Atlantic and the Northeast. This is where a lot of that cold front was impacting overnight. So from about 12 until about now, where things have really moved offshore basically by now, though. In general, it was bringing quite heavy rainfall. I was actually driving last night. I think it was around 8:30, sometime around 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, and it's just started pouring. It started pouring. Very, very heavy rainfall actually, and it was raining quite good overnight. So heavy rainfall with that cold front there, and we see these snow showers as well. I want to talk about this. We see some of that lake effect happening for the Upper Peninsula of Michigan there. We see some snow showers happening around Chicago, as well as regions of southwestern Michigan and northwestern Indiana there. We see some of this lake effect moving into the Cleveland area there of Ohio. And then we see tons of lake effect here for Pennsylvania, New York, portions of New England, and even some just normal snow showers happening as well. The worst of it is happening in here. So let's zoom in. We see some of those blues happening. That is very, very heavy snowfall here north of Syracuse there. So areas in here just north of I-90, just to the north of here, we're seeing the heaviest pockets right in here where those blues are showing up. That is the heaviest snowfall. That is 30 dBz snowfall or more. Also near Albany there, we've seen some of that happening right there. That might be a snow squall warning that we've seen. Yeah, multiple snow squall warnings actually. Let me just pause this and we can see what these warnings were. Special weather statement, so that could be pretty much anything, but it's probably for that very heavy lake effect snowfall that we were seeing overnight. So there might be quite a bit of accumulation for some of these bands in here when you're waking up tomorrow with a lot of that lake effect snowfall happening overnight. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move on and take a look at some modeled guidance. Now we're taking a look here at our European model, and here is that cold front, by the way. You can see that. You can also see the jet stream is following that cold front. We can see a huge trough there in the eastern United States alongside that huge ridge falling back in. So we're seeing a pattern like this. And what that's doing is just bringing that cold air into the eastern United States. It's going to be frigid today. And it's going to be frigid tomorrow, too, especially tomorrow. So Monday, Tuesday, January 10th, 11th, could go down to some of the coldest days of January or even the entire winter for the eastern United States. Let's just move this on here. Yeah, this is by the time we're reaching this afternoon. You can see it's fully engulfed there into the eastern United States. Here's tomorrow where the eastern seaboard could be really, really cold in there as well. It just depends what spot you're at. And things just stay so quiet. Look at this. There's no storms. There's a very minor clipper that moves down here by the time we're reaching the 13th. It's going to be Thursday, but really, I mean, nothing really going on. Here is the 14th, and what's interesting here is we do have a storm moving up. It's just going to be a little bit offshore there, as you can see on this model run. But these have been going back and forth, our different storms, so I'm not too concerned about this. We do have this upper Midwest storm developing. This actually looks quite strong here. Still, you can tell the trend is mostly a trough in the east and a ridge in the west. So you see this one moving up like this. See this one trying to move down like this. Let's continue this on. And that is our 16th snowstorm. Now it's looking pretty far south here on this model run. But again, these flip-flop, when they're this far out, they flip-flop quite a bit. So we're going to need to watch this closely. But we can see this does become more of a South Carolina, North Carolina, Southern Virginia snowstorm, which I would obviously be in love with that idea. Sometimes this does occur this way. This isn't completely unreasonable. And it's just a little bit further south than those two other snowstorms we saw that mostly impacted these regions. So I wouldn't say this is unheard of, but odds are this will trend northward. And I think we previously were seeing this storm more take a track up the East Coast. And, some of these southeastern areas, more rainfall, and then the snowfall really, mostly for this entire region. Right now, it's much further south and suppressed. So we'll have to watch that closely. That does move out, though. Let's take a look at the total snowfall for some of our folks here in the Mid-Atlantic and Southeast here. So this would be much more of a minor solution, much more major up here in the upper Midwest here, more than a foot likely for a lot of folks up there in Minnesota, North Dakota, Wisconsin, Iowa there, Upper Peninsula, Michigan, areas like that. Then we're like 2 to 6 inches here for more of the Mid-Atlantic and Southeast states. It's just a much more suppressed and weaker system that way. So that's why that would be a much more minor solution. Let's go ahead and take a look back at our precipitation type here. Well, actually, you know what? Let's take a look at what let's take a look at the 12Z model run real quick. Let's backtrack. So this is what this model was calling for. I guess it was a little more suppressed that run as well. It just didn't make its way up the coast. What did we use yesterday morning? Is this what we used yesterday morning? No, I can't get back to it. But the model run we used yesterday morning definitely showed this storm moving up the coast. And definitely that's not what this model is showing right now. It is worth noting that usually these storms trend north over time, and that's especially what we've been seeing this year. So that is what I think will happen. In this case, is likely a northern trend on this and an inland trend. So we're going to be watching for that. Things get even colder here by next Monday. This could be another very cold day. Deep trough in the east. This month so far has just been the opposite of December. I talked about it in December, how it looked like January 1st would be that pattern switch. We were talking about that in the very, very long range, and sure enough, that has taken place in a huge way. We see another snowstorm here around the 18th. It just does not make its way close enough, but I wouldn't be surprised to see this either trend west or east. If it does trend west, we could be taking a look at a major snowstorm somewhere in the eastern United States on this date as well as another storm signal. And then I think we even have a storm developing in here again, which would likely be some sort of coastal storm again. So storm after storm after storm for this region. On this specific model run, there isn't much that connects in this region. But I think that we will see these models, at least with a couple of these storms, trend in different ways to the point where we will see, one or more of these definitely become a snowstorm for the eastern United States, but only time will tell. That's what the previous model runs were calling for. At this point, this model run does not have it, but again, these models shift big time from each run to each run. If you're ever curious about these, model run updates and stuff like that, be sure to follow our Direct Weather Northeast and our Direct Weather Mid-Atlantic pages on Facebook, and also join our Facebook group Weather Freaks, because We're posting frequently about these subjects, especially on the Direct Weather Mid-Atlantic page. I know we've had frequent snowfall updates, so you can check that out. I'll leave it in the pin. I'll leave all three of those links in the pinned comment down below. You can check those resources out. If you're in the Mid-Atlantic, join the Mid-Atlantic page. If you're in the the Northeast, definitely join the Northeast page. And if you're anywhere in the United States, you can join the group. Anyway, guys, that's it for this video. For today's confidence tab, we are at a 3 out of 6 just because none of these connect on this model run, so I am a little less confident at this point than I was yesterday. But we're going to see if this comes back on the models. For today's comment of the day, I asked you guys, do you think that we will see more heavy snowfall throughout the month of January, or do you think we've seen the worst of it with our previous snowstorms? And Con653 said, from my experience, we've only seen the tip of the iceberg. As far as heavy snowfall and freezing temps, end of January through February will be much worse for everyone. And I definitely think that is the case based on what we're seeing from the models. It looks like this cold is only going to become more potent, and we're going to see more and more snowfall opportunities. So good comment of the day there. For today's patron highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our platinum patrons, Bill Crates, James Wade, Dova Nagel, Larry LePan, Mandy Birchfield, Patrick Strickland, Dave Scott, and Donna Carnes as well. And I would also thank our diamond patrons, Bill Roberts, Marcus Connolly, Noah Harley, Michael Kodalasa, Catbite, Charles Stinnett, Bill Dallas, Gary's, and John Colisi also. I would also thank our channel members, Catbite, Stephen Fan, and Jeremy Cox as well. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. I'll see you guys in the next video.